For this class, all you need is your yoga mat and one block, but you're gonna save the block for later. So let's just take a moment to take care of our wrists. We will be on them, and you're gonna be pretty much low to the ground. So I just want you to think about really opening up your chest and think about expanding a little bit into a back bend, or I should say a lot into the back bend, your thoracic back, so your upper back. So really opening up the chest. But first, we're gonna take care of the wrist. So just bend the elbows next to your ribs, make a fist, and you want your knuckles to face forward. And just start to circle around. Drawing smooth, round circles, taking care of the wrists, and reverse the circles. And this is always great to do when you're gonna be weight bearing on your wrists. You really wanna have them prepared. Okay, shake it out. And now I'm gonna turn to the side, and I recommend having being toward the front of the mat just so you have a little bit more mat space. Okay, so lifting the chest, spreading the fingers, and turn your fingers out. Keep your chest lifted. So inhale and exhale, round, think cat pose, and try and really empty out the breath. Pull the belly button toward the spine. Inhale, lift, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And one more. Inhale, exhale. And now we're going to go lateral. So inhale and pull that left shoulder back. Lift your heart and chest. Exhale, round. Inhale, pull the right shoulder back. Look back. Exhale, round. Two more each side. Inhale, pull the left shoulder back. Look back. Exhale, round. Inhale, pull the right shoulder back. Look back. Exhale, round. And now slowly bend your elbows. You're going to turn your fingers towards your glutes. Broaden the chest. Inhale, lift, and exhale, round. So you're doing more of a cat-cow, but you're leaning back a little bit. Inhale, lift, exhale, round. And one more. Inhale, lift, exhale, round. And now slowly stretch out the legs, coming up to sit, and let's take care of the wrists. So rock side to side. So you're on your sit bones, back of the palms to the floor. And now I want you to think about really spreading the fingers really wide so you get the pinky and the thumb. Now I have long arms, so by the hip is better. If you have shorter arms, you want to bring it more in the middle thigh. Okay, but that's too much for me. But you want to be able to get a really good stretch in the back side of the wrist. So lean back and shift forward to release. And lean back. Shift forward to release, lean back, shift forward to release, and one more. Lean back and shift forward to release. Okay, now place your palms down, and you're gonna bring the soles of the feet toward each other, scoot your butt towards your heels, keep your chest lifted, and pulse the knees up and down. So you are leaning back a little bit, but I want you to think about having your chest broad. Just getting into the hips, but we don't want to leave out the lower body. Getting into the hips, and my toes, the ball of the foot is not touching what the heel is. And you can play with a variation for yourself. Okay, now bring the knees together. Keep your chest lifted, straight arms. You can have a little micro bend. As you can see, I hyperextend. Okay, so pivot the left knee out to the side. Keep your chest lifted. And I want you to really engage the side glute to pivot the knee down. Come back up and pivot the right knee down. Keep your chest lifted, little micro bend if you need. Come back up and left knee, and come back up and right, and come back up and left, come back up and right, come back up. And now pivot both knees down, lift your heart and chest, and I want you to really think about getting the knees closer to the ground. It's different than sitting vertical. So you're leaning back so you have a little bit more leverage in this position versus being upright, okay? And you can try both. But for this variation, I do want you to lean the torso back, keep a long spine, and try a little bit of a posterior pelvic tilt. Okay, keep the chest lifted, and now we're gonna add a little bit more cat and cow. So inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, round. And now bring the knees up and you're gonna grab your block. Now you might have done this with me before, but we're gonna do this on the lower level just because we're going into this a little bit different, a little bit gentler. You can go higher, but I recommend just trying, being open to the idea, adapting to the idea of trying the block on a lower level. Okay, so you wanna make sure as you lower down that your fingers are guiding where your upper back is gonna go. So just holding on to the block a little bit and then lowering your upper back onto the block, interlacing the palms, and maybe your head comes all the way down, but I do want you to hold on to your head so that you open up the chest a little bit more, and then draw your chin toward the back wall so you really get into the front of the neck. And maybe your elbows touch all the way down to the floor. If they don't, that's okay. You can stay like this and just hammock the head. So your head pulling down is gonna help you go into that supported back bend. So see what's available for you to be in the position. Now lastly, bring the knees together and the feet wide. It'll release the lower back as you rest into this position. Or I should say release. I don't know how much rest you would get, but I do want you to feel the chest opening and going into that back bend. And play with your breath. You can do belly breath, you can do 3-part breath. I'm letting you have yogi's choice, or I'm opening up the option to try any type of pranayama just to fully help you open up the front and back of the torso, and also getting into the front of the neck. So even though we're on the block a little bit lower than usual, it's still very beneficial, especially if you've been sitting at the desk for a while, you haven't been moving throughout the day. This is such a great way to ease yourself into it, especially after all the cat-cow variations that we did. And stay with your breath. Keeping the slow and steadiness of the breath, whatever pranayama you're doing. And you're welcome to close your eyes in this position. And go for 2 more rounds. Okay, now slowly you're going to use your abdominals, your core muscles, and your arms and your head all at the same time to come up. So draw your chin to your chest. You can separate your knees. You can place your elbows down and slowly walk yourself up. You can move the block. And now come onto your hands and knees. And we'll just do 2 rounds of cat-cow. So keep the fingers spread. Curl the toes, lift the heart. Release, exhale, round, empty out the breath, and really push. Curl the toes and pull with your palms to pull your chest forward and up. Exhale, round, and just notice how the upper back feels. Slowly come into a neutral spine, bring your knees wide, big toes together, shift your butt toward your heels, and slide your palms forward, even curl your fingers forward, and rock side to side. Now, so that you get your butt closer to your heels. If your butt is not down, you can also place a block or a blanket underneath. Reaching the arms forward, let the head release. And keep curling the fingers forward so that you're energetically, I'm going to keep my head lifted so you can hear me a little bit better. So you want to have your nose facing the floor, your forehead on the floor, but mine is lifted. So I really want you to feel the palms spreading and pressing as you pull your butt back. So you're stretching out your spine. You might even feel the stretch also in your armpits as well. Go for 2 more breaths. And as you're breathing, not only do I want you to think about the hips, the belly and the lower back, the middle back and your ribs, and the upper back and the chest. You're breathing into that circumference. And go for 2 more rounds. And gently slide the palms back. Bring your knees together and just take a moment to sit on your heels, place your palms on your thighs, and just you're adding weight to your ankles. See if you can stack your vertebrae, and that includes your neck. And just, can you feel your posture? Can you feel your chest broad, releasing the shoulders? Close your eyes and just take a moment as you draw the tailbone down, just to even out the pelvis. You're really just keeping that length. Bearing weight on the feet, stretching the tops of the feet, getting a little bit of ankle mobility. And very slowly open your eyes. And there you go. You're finished with your practice today. I hope you got some really nice openings in the chest and the upper back, and also the hips and the ankles. Practice this as often as you need. I'll see you soon.